farther along than you thought you'd be at this point?
You know, from the beginning, we were pretty clear. That we were kind of in a little bit of uncharted waters. We felt that, the doctors, the trainers, myself felt that even though we had a little bit of a setback there with the refracture, we thought we were kind of starting ahead of the curve a little bit because obviously we already had that screw inserted last year. So we thought with some time it would respond pretty well. It has. We've done every possible thing you can imagine to try to expedite that as best we could, and RV and his guys do such a good job. The doctors, things are going well. Obviously it was a big step today going out there and actually doing a little bit of practice. So we'll just keep pushing it and try to build my workload each day and get the rest of my body caught back up a little bit. But it was just nice to be out there. Good to be out with the guys. Feel like you're back part of the team a little bit. It's been a long 3 weeks.
How did you feel today?
Felt good. Felt good. I don't know if I'm gonna win the MVP today, but I'm getting there. I've only run now full speed routes, in real type stuff now for a couple of days. So, a lot of it's just getting your legs back. A lot of it's just getting your body back. You feel great coming out of training camp. You're in great shape. Your legs are ready. You're in game shape. No problems. And then you lose that. It takes a long time to gain it, and it doesn't take very long to lose it. So a lot of it's just kind of getting your legs under you a little bit.
Ron's been a big proponent of how you feel the next day after works, the next day after workouts.
Yeah.
So Monday was a good load day for you. How did you feel Tuesday?
Yeah.
And
It felt good. If we didn't feel good, we wouldn't have been able to rev up as the week's gone on. As far as what that projects as far as playing, we'll get there when we get there. But, if I didn't respond well to yesterday, I wouldn't have been out there in that capacity today. And, same thing about Monday. So it's been good developments. Again, it's been practice on the side. Now the next thing is getting in there with other bodies and running around full speed and getting going. So there's steps to this whole thing, but, considering we're 3 weeks and a few days out, it's probably the best. It's probably as good as we could have hoped for.
Given that you went through this last year and how you know your body, do you kind of have an idea of when you think you might play?
Yeah, I think so. It stinks doing it again, but then there's also the benefit that I kind of know now what to expect. I know if it feels like this, that's okay to work through it. If it feels like that, you got to tone it down. So I kind of know what it's supposed to feel like, what it's not supposed to feel like. Unfortunately, because I had to play 7 games like that last year. But I think I'm ahead of where I was when I first came back last year. I'm confident that I'll be better when I first come back this time and play in a game. I'll be better than I was those first couple games when I came back last year. Towards the end of the regular season in the playoffs, I thought I was pretty good. Those first couple games wasn't my typical movement, wasn't my typical ability to move and create separation and stuff. I feel like I'm hopefully going to be better than that this time, but you don't know until you play.
Do you have an idea when that might be?
It's hard to say. I mean, obviously I know Ron already said for this week, so it's not a mystery. I'm not going to play this week, but I don't think it's out of the question that if I can have a good week of practice again tomorrow, have good work over the weekend, come here on game day, continue to run around, get in shape, get your body going, things respond well, have a good week now, a full week next week. At the end of next week, we'll see where we are. And if everyone, the doctors, and I feel like I'm ready, I'm going to play. That's just the way it goes, and whatever happens, happens. But if I can play, I'm always going to err on the side of playing, and that's just the way it is. And but I want to be able to play and help the team. I don't want to just play and fill up a jersey.
Based on the fact that you did have this last year, when the refracture first happened, could you tell straight off the bat that that's what it was?
Yeah, I knew right away. It was so weird. I finished up that playoff game feeling fine in January, went all OTAs, off-season workouts, minicamp, training camp, 3 preseason games. Never one day was it sore. Never one day did I feel like I had to give it a break. I never took one rest day. And just a funny plant, whether it was when I stepped on the guy's foot on the catch or the next play when I really felt it, who knows. But it's just kind of a weird deal.
Explain can you kind of explain? You have the screw in, but yet it refractured. Are we talking more of about a stress fracture, or how does that look?
Yeah, I mean, a fracture. Now, again, I'm not a doctor. I don't the difference between a stress fracture or a crack. The bone cracked, but the bone doesn't break all the way through because there's a screw in there already. So versus a bone without a screw. Versus, obviously when there's no screw, it can break in half. Breaks in half. Now it can crack, but that screw is still. The screw is what saves us. The screw is what allows this to even be possible.
Had they had to do anything to sort of fortify that?
No, we've done nothing to my foot.
With knowing that you've got to go through step by step, and you want to err on the side of playing, how difficult is this process for the warrior mentality that you guys have?
I mean, this is better when I sit in that locker room, sit in that training room after the Cowboy game, and you think you're going to have to do what you did last year to where we are now, 3 weeks and a couple days later. At the time, didn't seem great, but now here we are, and I'll take that as a win. It's obviously I would have loved to have played the last 2 games, but it's just the way it goes.
Yeah, Greg, in those moments after the Dallas game, did you think, I don't know how
tough.
long this could be?
Yeah, I mean, my first instinct was we're going to have to do it again, do what I did last year. And I've talked to a handful of guys around the league that have done this, kind of feeling them out about what their process was like following the re-injury. And, I've gotten some good tips, some good, kind of pointers of things they did to help with the management of it, help playing with it, whatever. And that was really helpful this time, getting some feedback from some of those guys. I know RV talked to a lot of trainers around the league who've had guys who've re-broke it to see kind of what their protocols were. So we really left no stone unturned, and I think a combination of all those things is why we've done as well as we have now, considering we're really only a little over 3 weeks out.
You mentioned that you didn't really think about this much. It didn't hurt you at all when you were going through off-season, going through training camp, going through minicamp. For you now, saying that you think you'll be better when you come back straight away than you were last year, is that part mentally too? Is it?
Maybe. Yeah, that's probably fair. I know what to expect a little bit last year. Every game was. I didn't know. I didn't know how. I didn't know. But after I got a few of those games under my belt last year, I felt more like myself. Was able to play pretty well against Green Bay, and then I kind of went to the rest of the regular season. Then obviously in the playoff game, felt like I was able to run relatively normal. It's just tough. You feel. I felt great in training camp. I felt like I was moving as well as I have in a long time, playing well, feeling good. My body felt good, and you just make. I've gone 12 years, and I've really been very lucky. And I've had one little bone in my foot now that's been my Achilles heel. It's just kind of a weird. It's just that's what my thing has been, but I'll get through it.
Mentally, how do you feel about trusting the foot? Are you concerned about that at all?
I'm really at the point where what else is going to happen to it? You know what I mean? Obviously, we don't want to go out and be reckless, but it is kind of what it is. So if it doesn't hurt and I can move and provide something to the offense, I feel like it's my job to be out there and play. And once I'm out there and play, you got to just let it go. 'Cause if I can't move and run and do what I'm used to doing, then I don't really help us much. So I got to just go out and play.
I remember last year, the AstroTurf in New York wasn't real kind.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Has that been a consideration?
It's definitely a thought. Fortunately, we have a good stretch here of grass, home and away. So as we've kind of looked at this target of coming back, hopefully, which was kind of around this time, we really are on grass at least the next 3 weeks, right? We're home, and then our next 2 away games in Washington and Philly are all grass. So, and then we're back here. So my window of possibilities, however short or long that is, most likely you come back on grass. It's a plus.